Is an upscaled table bot challenge. What is a floor bot, you ask? A floor bot is a robot that's too big for the table. The floor bot challenge has three phases. Phase one, go from one end of the room to the other and back. Phase two is to find an object in the room, and phase three is to fetch that object. Now, I've got a table bot. I need a little bit of setup. Is there anybody, floor bot? Is there anybody else with a floor bot that's ready to roll? If not,
Do you have a precast?
good question.
I have another wannabe floor bot. I can talk about what you're saying.
If you would do that, Ralph, I'd really appreciate it. And let me get set up here, and we'll give it a try. Ralph Knock, ladies and gentlemen. I pronounce the G out of respect.
Okay, so again, those of you who have seen me before, you've seen my floor bot before. It used to be sort of cream colored with the paper still on the acrylic, but this is a brand new rebuild of the floor bot. Managed to get the laser cut base made yesterday and was spent all day today assembling it, and unfortunately the motor controller, it has a robo claw, is crashing on me, so I can't actually get it to run. But again, it's new battery. It's got a lithium iron phosphate battery, has the Jetson TK1, so another Jetson based processor and a motor controller. So it's a ROS. This is planned as being a ROS floor bot. Haven't decided on the sensors yet. I used to have a Connect on it that I could run stuff, but whether I'll put that on or try to use another type of sensors or LiDAR on it or something. But this is basically my ROS floor bot. Hopefully next meeting I'll have it actually doing something. So. It's called the Wombot. Not a wombat, but it's a Wombot.
So is there another floor bot that's ready to roll? If not, is there a Run What You Brung that's ready to do their presentation now? I know there is. Come on. Boot up your computer. Nick Donaldson, ladies and gentlemen, robot. I met Nick, must be 15, 20 years ago, between Robo Games and Maker Faire. He's always the guy with the monkey on his shoulder. And that monkey was Cheeky Monkey, and he's produced these things and sold over 250,000 of them.
Wide army of robotic monkeys.
Yeah, so, and he's also king of the hexapods, and this is his latest and greatest, Marauder.
Fourth generation. So the first of these was actually Lego. 17 years ago. My wife gave me, when the Lego Mindstorms kit first came out, my wife gave me one, and that got me started in robotics. So I started as a hobby. I got recruited by Nito at a robot show.
Nito Robotics.
Yes, Nito. And actually built their first drive system prototype that would run around. It was a tabletop bot, really. It would just run around on a conference table and not fall off.
Remember Whisper or Thumper or Runner?
Unfortunately, one of my speakers blew at Maker Faire. But so turn this on. So yeah, the first walker was in Lego. The second one I bought a Grizzly mini mill and machined an aluminium walker called Ziggy. I think some of you are probably familiar with Ziggy. And Ziggy held the gold medal in the Walker Challenge, which is an off-road race for walking robots, for 8 years. And then eventually the Indonesians built a faster robot, and so I was that was the motivation to build Glider, which is half of this guy. So Glider can walk, and he can skate. I don't know if any of you can see the wheels here. I don't think I have room to skate this guy, but but last year Intel came to me. There we go. Last year, Intel came to me and said, basically, can you build a giant SpiderBot? So this guy is the results. So he has a variety of gates. He has the standard your basic gate for a hexapod robot. He also has triple gates. You can move it backwards. He can walk sideways like a man. And then he has this new one, which is based on a spider video, which is very random and creepy slow gates, which is kind of nice because it doesn't go very fast, so I can leave him walking around in this gate. And he can also dance. He was actually built. It's kind of noisy. It was built as the one more thing for the CEO keynote at IDF last year, and we had Marauder and 80 other little small robots all synced together dancing to Uptown Funk on stage, which was really fun. Oh, and he has LED strips running down inside the 3D printed legs that were synced to the small SpiderBots. But that was a separate subsystem, so I'm still trying to get that running directly off the main processor, which is, so he's running on an Intel Core i7, excellent, like really tiny embedded board, excellent, nice, fast processor. He runs a full inverse kinematic subsystem, which I wrote from scratch, that lets me essentially calculate an XYZ position of a leg or a wheel, and my IK will back calculate the motor angles needed to put the foot there. So I can generate smooth curves, and the software will do that in the motors. What else here? Can we move this?
Yeah, sure.
I think I have enough room to do just very tiny skates. Very tiny skates.
Turning to the right. Stopping. Turning to the left.
Yeah, isn't it great?
It's wonderful.
It's a custom voice that I found for it turned the pitch all the way down and slowed it down a bit.
Walking backwards with ripple gate. Stopping. Walking left with drop gate. Stopping. Skating. Walking backwards with ripple gate. Stopping.
You might keep that dance mode
Stopping.
handy for the robot.
Child target acquired. Disabling first floor. Attack. 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 Attack.
Yeah, that's my favorite line. One more thing.
I feel quite territorial. I now declare this to be mine.
Okay, so
Turning to the left.
you have a question?
You said that you made the first one out of Legos, and I think you can make this or something out of Legos and how big. So how big was the first one?
So the first one is about this big. It's called Flick. If you go to gotrobots.com, you can see photos and video of him. And yeah, you're right. The reason that I graduated from Lego to aluminium is that as you build bigger and bigger Lego robots, they get really flexible, and it's just not stiff enough. So to go bigger, I had to go metal.
And a second question, where did you get all the parts? Like, I know you 3D printed like the legs, but did you buy the parts or did you get
So
them?
I designed it. Everything in the robot is a flat plate. I designed it and I emailed the drawings for the parts over to a company in Southern California who used a water jet cutter to cut them out of aluminium for me, and then they shipped them back to me, and I assembled it. And all the 3D prints was actually done by a company called Fathom in Oakland. They're derivative of Anouk Ruprecht's work. Anouk designed the original Intel Spiderbots, which are the small ones, which you might have seen at Maker Faire. And unfortunately, she was busy on an Audi thing at the time, so she didn't have time to work on this. But they gave those parts to Fathom and said, make big things that look like it. So this is what we came up with.
Keep your dance nerd handy for the robot dance party.
Yes.
All right. All right. So we're back to the FloorBot challenge. That is a robot that can get from one end of the room to the other and back. And so I've got I've got the Nito Pyros here, and that is a Nito that I put the Raspberry Pi in, and it's got Ubuntu's, it's got Ubiquiti's Ubuntu ROS image on an SDHC card, and that's what's driving the Nito, and I've got the TurtleBot chassis on top, obviously. Now, in using, and I mentioned this to Ralph, the Nito package instead of the original, using the BotVac package instead of the original Nito package, the table legs don't seem to be an obstacle, which is a big feature. Now, what I'm doing here, you know how we do the TableBot challenge, it's kind of loose, where we don't define the, the size of the table, the block, the shoebox, anything. So basically I've got two boxes here that I'm going to have represent the two walls in the room. And you can see me driving the, oops, stop.
You shouldn't let the monkey drive.
Thank you for that. Oh no, I'm messing up now. That's okay. That's okay. So I'll get the two boxes and we'll have him go from one box to the other. So let's get him set up here. Now ideally, in the FloorBot challenge, the robot would go from one end of the room to the other and back autonomously. And I don't have that set up, but at least I'm going to simulate going from one end of the room to the other, and then we'll have him move back. Can you get that on the TV, on the monitor?
You just mapped then, did you, Tim?
Here I'm mapping, okay? And, wow, the robot really seems delocalized. Bear with me, I'm going to map one more time. Okay, so here's where we are. Go forward. Wake up, monkey. Okay, that's where I started. And here I've driven around and I've created this map. Okay, so now you see where the robot is in front of this box, and there's the box in front of it, okay? This is one wall, and that's the next wall. Okay, so now I'll point it out. Here's where you see the robot here. Incidentally, this BotVac node was written by Ralph Ganock over here, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the second box. My cost map's a little bit off, but regardless, let me go back to my cheat sheet here, and I shall save this map. The new thing here is with the table on top, it doesn't seem to affect the mapping nor the navigation, which again is a feature on this. That's right. Control C, and bear with me. So I've saved the map, which is important before you kill G mapping, grid mapping. So here's grid mapping. I'm killing that map. Map goes away. And now I'll load in the 2D nav, which is Ross's navigation routine. 2D nav is based on adaptive Monte Carlo localization. We all talk about ROS here, robot operating system. The big deal is that it's designed for a $250,000 robot, and it scales. You put your parameters, your wheel diameter, your wheelbase, and the robot, or the code developed for this $250,000 robot scales and works on your Nito robot. With that, you can take advantage of G mapping, standard form of mapping, 2D nav, standard form of navigation, standard visualization tool, which is RViz, standard form of messaging, logging, standard means of distribution through GitHub. So here's our map now. The robot thinks it's way up there for some reason. First thing I'm going to do is set my pose here and tell the robot that it's in front of that box. All he sees is your shirt. Boom. Let me come down here. There we go. Okay? Can you see, can you see that? Okay. There we go. So here's the URDF, Universal Robot Data Format. In front of the box. I'm going to have him navigate to the other box. Nothing up my sleeve. Click on, thank you for that, 2D nav goal, and I'll point, press, and drag the opposite direction. Now the robot will navigate to the other end of the room and turn around. Did the monkey go to sleep? Let me wake him up again. These are available through Amazon for $30. They're really cute. So there the robots made it to the other hall, or one end of the room, and now I'm going to have it come back to the other end of the room. And turn the opposite way. So there it goes. You can see when the green lines go in there, that's its path planning. And so it's got a strong signal. And there it goes.
What's the orange stuff?
You know, the orange stuff is this wall. It must be really... Okay, now it's doing the whirling dervish, which means that it's really delocalized. But let's see what it can make out of it, because it should fit that wall up there. Yeah, it looks like it's getting back on track here. We don't actually need the whirling dervish with the Nito BotVac LiDAR, because it's 360 degrees. So, anyways. So he's making it back. Where the hell is he going?
He's taking an obstacle.
Okay, he's making it. I'm looking at it backwards here. Steer him right, monkey. So I won't call this FloorBot Phase 1. I'll call this FloorBot 0.5, because I only made it to one end of the room and I had to click to make it come back to the other. But if he actually goes from one end of the room to the other and back, that would be a Phase 1. So, question? Are there any other FloorBots here for demo tonight, this evening? Okay. The FloorBot challenge is relatively new. and even though we've been going a couple of years with it, but you know, it gets us off the tabletop. So, and Ross is a great way to do this. So, so the next phase we're going to do is the Amazing Line Challenge. Ralph, are you ready?
All right.
Come on down.
And congratulations for passing phase 0.
Well, this is point 5.
No, phase 0. You didn't fall off the floor. Very good.
Oh, is that phase 0?
Yeah, phase 0, not falling off the floor.
Level 2. There it is. Nice.
Level 3.
What's level 3?
Well, put some loops in.
Oh no, won't do that. unless you can solve it with the left hand. If there's a left hand loop, it can get caught.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have loops with you will get stuck, but I would need to move the tiles around, so we'll do that. So. Anybody else? Anybody other any other line spots? Anybody else? Anybody else? If not, I'll bust out Ben.
Well,
Here we go.
I'm actually mostly here just to see if I can actually follow his line at all, because I haven't tested on this. So this is a thing that's called Motobot. You've maybe seen it if you've been to some pre-read meetings. I ripped it all apart and everything and put a little line sensor on the bottom and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I only had 5 sensors. So anyway, hey, if it makes it like past 2 turns, I'm going to be totally thrilled, okay? This is almost untested. It's just put together this afternoon mostly in the last part of it.
The little robots were put together this
So this is Moto Mouse, and pretty much fresh off the press. So, and you know what? If it does, so you can see it on the top, it has little things showing you where the sensors are. It tells you what direction it's going. It has little asterisks that now it sees. By the way, I looked at your maze and I said, dang it, because this is a left favoring guy. And look what he does. He goes off totally in the wrong direction here. So
He's really slow.
he's extremely slow. So I'm going to pull him after a little while. I'm just trying to see if he's got some good contrast on this thing. He still gets confused on some corners and stuff. See what he just did there? He thinks that's the end of a line. So he's doing a 180 rotate and coming back. Although that's actually a blessing in disguise.
With this maze.
So we won't wait for the whole thing. I'll come back here later and mess with
Artificial
it.
intelligence to figure out that he had to turn around.
Yeah.
Well, so what's happening, I think I know what's happening, but it was like 5 o'clock, and I said, you know what, forget it, just go with it.
I think your mouse has precognition. I think you're onto something.
So anyway, I thought it had a cute face, and the kids might like looking at the little face of the thing and stuff like that. But we won't wait for it to go the whole thing. I'm actually pleased that it's able to follow this contrast at all.
On the bright side, it skipped that entire part, which is probably like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but actually, if it was doing the right thing, it would have taken that whole thing. It would have left turn. So this. See, it should favor left, okay? So you know, it's basically it's gonna go in a good direction if it does its thing here. So we avoided that. I'm happy. I'm already happy right now. Because see, I was messing with FiddlerBot with all the fancy stuff, and I just got to this like near the end, and left again. We're in good. If he figures out it's a left, yeah, he figured out it's a left. So.
If you figured out this is right now.
Well, actually, the problem is sometimes he does think it's a right turn, which is a bug, but I would have not said anything if it did that. Yeah. So I'm going to upgrade this with Pololu motors and encoders and so forth, so it'll be much more precise. Right now, he's just, power on the wheels and approximately even loading and so forth. He does okay, but he really needs wheel encoders to make those really crisp 90-degree turns. You saw that last guy? It was like boom, right on the button. He's going the way he's going the way he's supposed to go right now.
Might actually make it.
Except for he has another dead end to do over there, but. Yeah, well, sometimes, okay, he made it past that one, that's good.
Have you thought about implementing a PID on it?
Well, that was actually that was my point. Is on the other bots I've got roboclaws and so forth. Yeah, absolutely. The next phase would be motor encoders, PID loop, and then he's dead nuts on. You don't have to worry about all this kind of stuff. But he's very simplistic. If you saw him at Maker Faire, he was just wandering around. He has this cycloptic eye in his other configuration where he can find a little light and follow it and then go up to it, and if you move the light close to him he backs away and so forth. There's a video on the web that was shown from this room sometime back. So he's been reconfigured completely this last week. Okay, that's a good sign. I'm getting excited here. It's, he's slow.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Okay, and actually, so at about 3 o'clock, I was soldering on a new set of, oh, this might really confuse him. I should have put the cheese up closer because he's got about a 5 centimeter, and that was too far away. And there, see, so because it was out there, he got really confused with black everywhere, which to him means turn around. So I think he did it.
Any other bots? Am I gonna run? Yeah.
Oh, this one's all a rat.
All right.
Hey, it's got a rat's nest.
Yeah, he's got a rat's head. Yeah, this is Ben. Ben's been on a diet.
As in from Willard?
Yeah, exactly. With Michael Jackson. So I shrank Ben down a little bit to get him down to 6 inches. Because the Seattle Robotics Society rules, a bot can't be more than 6 inches. They do everything on 6-inch spacing. We're on 12-inch spacing. So let's see. I got him working at 4 o'clock today. So it's funny, I used all the same stuff. I would have thought I just shrank the chassis down. I thought he'd just work right out of the box. And I spent the last week getting them working. It's the weirdest thing. But, weird things happen sometimes. I had some contact issues on some of the jumpers that had tin silver plating on them instead of gold plating. That took me 2 days. So, one word of caution to all you young botters: gold plating.
I like the way he stops to drill a little hole.
Yeah.
You know what? You should add to this? You know what you should add to this? At the end you have to pick up the cheese, and it's like a smaller piece. Oh,
Pick it up. Yeah.
And bring it back.
Bring it back. I like it.
That could be tasty.
Huh? Yeah, that's a good idea. Go pick up the cheese. I like that.
Yeah, he ain't gonna just leave the cheese there. He's hungry.
I saw the iPhone.
So this is actually an optimizer. It's not just left on.
Because
when you take the left here.
Yeah, he just okay. Yeah. It's the lighting. Here's what it is. It's the lighting. Yeah, he missed that turn over there. Probably a little.
Let's just put it down right here.
He's got some problems. Yeah. See, that was the pre-competition.
Oh, yeah. The second
So to figure out what problems it is.
Alright, well, he's having some problems.
he thought when he talked to everybody, he got the target.
Yeah.
And then I posted the source code.
Anybody else want to run this? Okay, maybe next time. So next time we'll have level 1 and level 2.
Get it up now. We're going to play some music and just have the robots move around, okay? Any robots that are capable. Let's get with it now.
They are good.
I use a key. Recognize something moving in front of you. Bill? I don't know. Oh, okay. I don't see him, so
We went this.
So,
The distant future. The year 2000. The distant future. The year 2000. The distant future.
there's a young woman here.
you did a great job. See you guys next time. Great job. Okay, we're ready to start the next phase.
guide by leading, right? Running guide, guide the tether, how to like tether, and I can follow the tether. Then we have a guide. My daughter's
Okay, I know we got some more robots down here, so let's everybody have a seat.
It's like a robot. Yeah. No, you don't like this. You just don't fly, right?
Hello, if you can kindly take a seat, we need to finish this up. I know we got some more robots out there. This is the run what you run. So anybody that's got a robot that didn't fit in any of the other categories, bring them on down.